Welcome into AZ Audibles. I'm Haley Stasiak alongside Eric Sorensen and Jordan Ham. Now, last month, Zidane Thomas, Centennial's running back, left Centennial to head to Florida to live with his mother, but now he's back, and this is huge for the Coyotes.
It's huge for the Coyotes, and it's huge for the entire state of Arizona. I think if you switch perspectives to former prep star basketball players that have left the state, most notably Marvin Bagley over at Corona and Marcus Howard, disappointing to see those guys leave because I think the quality of basketball has gone down a little bit because those guys have gone on to other states to play, and now Marcus Howard is already at Marquette doing big things. Back to Zidane Thomas. I'm sure Coach Taylor and his staff are ecstatic to have him back, but the person who's probably just as happy is Ruben Beltran, their quarterback. They're going to run that stretch play to perfection this spring. It's going to be much like it was last fall for the Coyotes next year.
And taking it from big picture to small picture, this was a team that made the state championship game, lost to Williams Field, but they return a lot of talent. And I thought that they were going to be able to kind of overcome that, and they always have solid seasons and just football players. But now you have this headline guy that they can really lean on if they need to.
Spring ball is getting started for both high school and college teams, and recently there's some guys from Arizona who have been making an impact on their scout teams.
Yeah, not every player that comes from the state of Arizona is going to be a Christian Kirk or a Kyle Allen, a couple of guys that get in to the college game very early in their careers. Sometimes they have to redshirt and that sort of thing, even the top flight guys. But we've seen this past offseason plenty of guys get recognized for their scout team over at ASU. Chase Lucas was a guy that converting to a new position, having to bulk up, but it seemed like Todd Graham was talking about all the impact he was making as a scout team player. And then up at UC Davis, Christian Skepteris, there are a couple of Chaparral guys that went up to UC Davis making plays. Brandon Jamison literally on the field. He was a great defensive end here this year, but Skepteris was behind the scenes and really, upgrading and kind of improving upon his skills. So it just kind of speaks to the coaching, I think, in Arizona that these guys are ready to play and the work ethic for these guys to get going even if they aren't on the field.
The Washington Huskies nabbed two of the top players last year in the state, and Byron Murphy at Saguaro and Daniel Bridgegad over at Paradise Valley. Last year at Pac-12 Media Day, I spoke to Chris Peterson, and he thought there was a chance definitely Byron Murphy was going to play, but possibly have a package in there for Daniel Bridgegad as well. Both ended up redshirting. Both ended up excelling on scout team. Both named MVP. Murphy on the defensive side, Daniel Bridgegad on the offensive side. And Daniel got a little bit of love nationally before the Peach Bowl for his imitation of Jalen Hurts before they played Alabama.
These are guys that kind of slid under the radar in their time as high school football players here in Arizona. Who are some guys that we're kind of looking at coming into this 2017 season that we're thinking are standouts? Eric, let's hear from you.
I've got a real diamond in the rough. We're going to go down to Florence, Arizona. They have a quarterback, junior Jared Wood, 6'3", 195 pounds. He threw for 37 touchdowns, almost 3,000 yards last season. This guy is a real gym rat. He comes in on the weekends and watches film. He's already taken an unofficial visit to the University of Washington as well as NAU, and there's also some interest from the University of Wyoming. So definitely a guy to keep your eye on from the small school. The Gophers went 10-3 last year, so.
Someone I'm keeping my eye on is Cade Matthews out of Higley. He was a former Williams Field transfer. Standout on the Knights defense. He had 83 solo tackles, 109 total, and averaged 9.9 tackles per game with 6 sacks. I think he'll continue to be a key component this season. He's just a tackling machine.
For me, it's Tommy Christakis over at Chaparral. He got some playing time. He's sort of a name right now, but I think that he's just going to blow up. His season last year was shortened because of a leg injury. Didn't get a lot of time, but you can just see the glimpses of what this kid can do. 6'3", 185 pounds, going to be a big target for the new quarterback, Jack Miller. I know that they're friends. They already have a good chemistry together, and he's a guy that not only can contribute on the offense, but apparently he's also a pretty good kicker.
Oh, really?
And has a huge leg, so that could be something that helps the offense in another way for the Firebirds.
That's what we've got for you this week on AZ Audibles. Be sure to check out Eric's Zone Read and more of our high school football content on sports360az.com. We'll see you next week.